Hello students, welcome to my today's class on research methodology. Today we'll discuss the in-text citation. What is in-text citation? The second major component of MLA documentation style is the insertion in your text of the brief reference that indicates the source you consulted. The in-text citation should direct the reader unambiguously to the entry in your works. Cite at least for the source and if possible to a passage in the source while creating the least possible interruption in your text. A typical in-text citation is composed of the element that comes first in the entry in the works cited list, usually the author's name and the page number. The page number goes in a parenthesis which is placed when possible where there is a natural pause in the text. A parenthetical citation that directly follows a quotation is placed after the closing quotation mark. The other items, usually the author's name, may appear in the text itself or abbreviated before the page number in the parenthesis. One example is given here. So this is the article that you have written. So this is the quote that you have borrowed and you can cite it with the page number. So it is the page number from where you borrowed this quotation is written here in the parenthesis. Or you can write it with the name of the writer. You have quoted and then after the quotation you have written the name of the writer along with the page number in the parenthesis. And the same thing when you will cite in your works cited list will come as this as it is given here. This is the source from where you borrowed. This is the container and this is the name of the writer who had written this quote. So a reader interested in your source can flip to the indicated entry in your list of works cited. A reader not interested in the source can pass over the citation without being distracted. Rarely should the page number be mentioned in the text. So while you are quoting something, you should not mention the page number within the text. It should be mentioned separately in the parenthesis after the quotation mark, since it would disrupt the flow of ideas. When a quotation, whether of prose or poetry, is so long that it is set off from the text, type a space after the concluding punctuation mark of the quotation and insert the parenthetical citation. This is the example because the quotation is long. So instead of using the quotation mark, you have used the space here and then indented it. And then the quotation is given here and then finally ended it with the writer's name in the page number in parenthesis. This is how you do for the long quotations. There are circumstances in which a citation like Baron 194 doesn't provide enough information to lead unambiguously to a specific entry. So if you borrow from works by more than one author with the same last name, example, these are the two writers with the same last name, Nomi Baron and Sabrina Algon Baron. Eliminate ambiguity in the citation by adding the author's first initial. That means you have to write the first initial because both of them have got the similar end name or the last name. So by adding the author's first initial, or if the initial is shared to the full first name. So if you feel or if you see that even the first or the initial name is shared, so use the full last name. So it is here. So after quotation, you have used the initial of the name. So initial dot then Baron 194 page number. So this is how you do. And if you feel that even the first name is initial is shared, so you can either do it like this. Even if you cite only the author named Baron in your text, it's insufficient if more than one work appears under that author's name in the works title list. In that case, include a short form of the source's title. Even if the example is given here, even if the name is shared, then you can write the short form of the source. This is the article or source you have borrowed from and it was written by this writer, Baron, and this is the page number in which it was written. This quotation was written. So it is inside the parenthesis. This is to distinguish the writer, identify the writer, which particular writer you're talking about if both the names, first name and the second names are same. So when an entry in the works cited list begins with the title of the work, either because the work is anonymous or because its author is the organization that published it, your in-text citation contains the title. The title may appear in the text itself or abbreviated before the page number in the parenthesis. The first example is here. So in this, we have written the name of the organization which has written this paper. So completely we have written the name of the organization, the complete name of the organization, and here in parenthesis which page number it was. Another example is, so instead of writing the complete name of the organization, we have just abbreviated or made it smaller, just the initial, reading, and then page number in which it was cited. Then work cited, how you do the work cited for this work. So it is the name of the paper which was written by this organization, and then the source, it was written by this organization. This is a research report of this division. If your source uses explicit paragraph numbers rather than page numbers, as some publication on the web do give the relevant number or numbers preceded by the label par, dot or pairs, dot. Change the label appropriately if another kind of part is numbered in the source instead of pages, such as sections, sec, dot or sex, dot, or chapters, ch, dot or chs, dot. If the author's names begins such a citation, place a comma after the name. It is given here. So this is the quotation that you have borrowed and it was written by Chan, comma, then paragraph 41 in the parenthesis. This is in-text citation for the web source quotation. Name was given there, so you have written the name, then paragraph 41. When a source has no page number or any other kind of part number, no number should be given in the parenthetical citation. Do not count unnumbered paragraphs or other parts. If it is not given in the text or the source from where you have borrowed, then don't write it. As we read, it's here the quotation. So it is written by Homeliker. So obviously there is no page number, no paragraph mentioned. So we have written only the name of the writer. In parenthetical citation of a literary work available in multiple editions, such as a commonly studied novel, play or poem, it is often helpful to provide division numbers in addition to or instead of page numbers so that readers can find your references in any edition of the work. So, as the quotation, so it was in Mansfield Park and this is the quotation and other details like the page number, volume number and the chapter number. So why we have given it here? So that it is easier for the people to find it in various edition, that which chapter and which volume we are talking about. So obviously we have given, for quick reference, we have given the volume number and chapter number so that it is easy for the reader to find the source or locate the source. For works in time-based media such as audio and video recordings, cite the relevant time or range of times. Give the numbers of the hours, minutes and seconds as displayed in your media player, separating the numbers with colons. It is given here. So the details are separated with the colons here. So it is here. The citation is here from where we borrowed. This is the source and then here the details. Identifying the source in your text is essential for nearly every kind of borrowing. Not only quotation but also facts and paraphrase ideas. The only exception is common knowledge. For common knowledge, we need not to give the reference. The parenthetical citation for a fact or a paraphrase idea should be placed as close as possible after the borrowed material at a natural pause in your sentence so that the flow of your argument is not disrupted. Natural pause, a space here and then parenthesis and then page number, right? So as soon as it ends, you should give the reference so that reader is able to locate from where you borrowed it, or along with the name of the writer and page number. So the second version above is usually preferable when a single fact or paraphrase idea is attributable to more than one source. List all the sources in the parenthetical citation, separating them with the semicolons. It is given here. So if there are more than one writers of the similar idea, then you can separate it with the semicolon, but you have to give if you have referred to it, then you have to give the citation of both the writers, name of both the writers in in-text citation. So remember that the goal of the in-text citation is to provide enough information to lead your reader directly to the source you used while disrupting the flow of your argument as little as possible. So this was the end of today's video. Thank you.